Oh, I'm live.
Oh, we're live. I might just also just oh no, we should be able to see people's comments on the side of the screen. So,
Yes, I can see a comments thing
okay.
there.
All right. Yeah, it should all work. It should all. And let's get started. Welcome to the first ever Fearless Singer private podcast. I've been wanting to do this for eons, and honestly, what better way to start it off with interviewing you, Sally Porteous?
Oh, you're
My
too
my now, honestly, my I feel like we're soulmates. I'm just gonna go there. We're soulmates. We're business besties. We met each other only a short while ago, a couple of months ago. We've been in similar business groups and we've messaged each other, but we met each other in real life at the Tash Corbin Heart Centre Business Conference in Noosa, and we've just been just inseparable ever since.
Yeah.
And Sally has an incredible background. Well, she is an events coach, so she can coach you in putting in on your own in real life event show. But Sally also has a phenomenal background in the music industry, and this is how we it's amazing how many similarities we had, Sally. You know what, I always think that, excuse me, but lovely kooky people, we always seem to find each other. And I hope that's okay. I'm projecting that onto
Yeah.
you. That's
Isn't
how
that
I
Malcolm?
identify.
Isn't that Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers? Isn't that the weird ones? The weirdos always converge.
Yes, that's it. We find each other, and then and then outwardly when we create our communities and groups, we all seem to, yeah, all of us. We've got a
Yeah.
Facebook user saying, "Good morning, Sally and Mel. I have a funny feeling that that's the beautiful Ellie Donovan." Ellie, just there is an option there just to if you just give you've just got to give StreamYard permission to show who you are. There's like a little button there. If you don't mind pressing that, and that goes for anyone else who's listening, who comes in live this morning. If you just click, give StreamYard permission to show your face. That way we can acknowledge you as to who you are. Yeah, that'd be really nice. So the reason why Sally is on is she's here to help us, to empower us, to not just sit around and wait for opportunities. And don't you worry, I've been there for many years. That was
Yeah. You'll
me
have.
about 5 years ago, going, where's my gigs? Because I was so used to being asked to play at certain things, and then all of a sudden it stopped. And Sally's here to say, well, actually, there's a real opportunity here to put on your very own show or your own event,
Yeah.
and it may seem quite daunting because it's such a big thing, but actually, there's just some very simple steps to take. It's just a matter of taking those steps. Is that right, Sally?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely right. I think we tend to kind of, it's almost like employee mode. We wait to apply for jobs, or we wait to apply for opportunities. And as I was digging through my archives last night looking for some really cool things that we could give away, um, I found a blog that I had written, which is about 5 pages. So it's not really a blog, it's an essay. But I found this paper that I had written on how to book your own gigs. And look, because it's kind of 15 years old, it's probably not relevant anymore. There may be some theory in there that's still good, but because it's so old, it doesn't incorporate social media or any of those things in it as well. But I simply went and researched 100 venues who play live music, and it took me about 15 minutes at the time. It may be different now, as I say, because times have changed, but I do think more and more venues are putting. Pardon?
Oh no, sorry. I'm going on to Facebook to say hello,
Oh,
people. Can you please say who
okay,
you
cool.
are? And then and
So
then
I
it starts
think
playing.
it's just about being proactive, and people are looking for people who are being proactive. So um, just deciding that you're the promoter. It's your show, it's your stage. You decide where you play, when you play, and who you play to and for. just go out and do it.
Yeah.
It's not difficult to do. We're going to share some resources with you at the end of this that will help you maybe tick off some checklists and stuff like that. But I really, I do it. I put events on. It's scary. It's nerve wracking. You worry the whole time that no one's going to come, but they do. People show up, and when they do, it's even more grand. It's even greater because like they're there organically. Like someone didn't pay a list or any of that kind of stuff. They actually showed up to see you because they like you, and that's like mind blowing.
It is. It always blows my mind. I'm always so grateful who comes, and I've got this thing where I think, okay, I'm just gonna do, like, I treat the promo for a show as like, it's like you're planting the seeds, and I always start, a good head of time, and then I also do a lot of in real life interaction. Like I just say, oh hi, by the way, I've got this coming up, because everyone always asks, when's your next show? When's your next show? Let us know. People want to
Yes.
know what you're doing.
Yes.
And it's never like real spammy, like, or in any way like you have to come, or manipulative or anything like that. It's just like, oh, by the way, I'd love for you. And then you have those conversations, and then I always just kind of like let go, and I just think, well, whoever comes, and it'll be beautiful. And even if there was just a handful, I always think, even if it's just my mum and my brother and, my close friends, like that will be beautiful, and
What
even
a
if
joy
it was
they
just,
get though, right? What
yeah,
a joy they get as this intimate audience. It happened to me the other
absolutely.
week. I ran a workshop. 10 people were booked in for the workshop. One person showed up. And so I could have sat there and gone, oh my God, this is devastating. Only one person turned up. But I didn't. I went, oh my God, how lucky are you? You
Yeah.
get me one on one.
But then
Like,
it's just
forget
like a beautiful conversation, like you're just having coffee with somebody,
it was.
so that's lovely. Yeah. Hey, I just want to remind everybody, if you're watching, please just give StreamYard permission to show you who you are, because we're getting some comments. We've got good morning, Sally and Mel. Morning, hi. Would love to know your names. We just can't see you through our software, so you just need to give. It's just at the top of the post. Just give it. Just click yes, and then we'll see your beautiful face. That's why I was trying to go in before to find who you were, but I was focusing on what Sally was saying. But it would be really excellent if you could just do that. Yeah. So, and especially if you've got a question for Sally, because we're hoping that there's going to be questions. Sally, first things first, how did you get into the business of events? How did that happen for you?
Okay.
Did you
So
study this? Did you study events?
So let me go. I just want to go back 2 steps. First of all,
Yep.
thank you for having me on the show. And like I said to you earlier, it's always nerve wracking. But look, I'm going to stand on my own stage with you. So thank you so much. And yes, we met a couple of months ago, and I completely agree with you. It's sometimes you just meet people, and it's the right time, it's the right synergy, everything's you just kind of meet at the same time and you're on the same path. And I totally agree. I feel that's kind of where we are. The second thing I would like to do is acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet
Thank you.
today.
Yep.
Wherever you are, past, present, and emerging, and also acknowledge any traditional people who are with us on our meeting today. So just wanted to do that as well.
Thanks, Sally.
In answer to your question, study. Well, I was not studious when I was at school. I wasn't studious, and was rather a rebel. And I just scraped through year 10, and prior to just scraping through year 10, I was expelled from one school, and I was expelled from the second school, but was allowed to finish year 10 before I was told that I was not welcome to come back for years 11 and 12. I was quite rebellious. I'm the youngest of 4, 3 elder brothers, always looking for attention. So that, I'm guessing, is probably where all that stuff came from. I have grown a lot since then, though, and I'm a much nicer person, and certainly don't waste people's time, energy, or disrespect people anymore. But I really was a perpetual learner. So I went straight from school into TAFE. I went and did administration courses at TAFE. I attempted to go back to high school. In Brisbane here, Coorparoo State High School used to do this nighttime year 11 and 12. I tried to go back to high school. That didn't work out. I wasn't ready. And it wasn't until I was in my 40s when I was in a boardroom, put forward an idea that was rejected. The basis of the rejection was some case study out of some university that someone had, and me still being a rebel in my 40s, basically in my mind went, F you, I'll go and get my own MBA, and then I'll be able to put my ideas forward and no one can reject it. So off I trottled to do an MBA with no senior, no undergrad, no nothing, and actually managed to get in. So this is where naivety is perfect, right? It's what you don't know doesn't matter. Just go forth and put one foot in front of the other and decide what you want and go for it. Because I didn't know anything about university whatsoever. I didn't know that you needed an undergraduate degree. I didn't know that you needed to have finished senior. My application process was very arduous and long and complicated, and I had to get support letters from stacks of people, had to write essays about why I deserved this spot. And I just thought it was normal. It wasn't normal. And I found out it wasn't normal in my first class when someone asked me what my undergrad was, and I didn't even know that term. I'd never heard of it. I was like, what's an undergrad? So, but I got in, hey, and I went as far as a graduate certificate in management. So I went, a long way. I did it for nearly 2 years. I just scraped through. I just passed. But subsequent to that, and in answer to your question, Mel, I was working for a government authority, and I had found my way into events, retrospectively realizing I had always done events, but this was actually an events job. I was a sponsorship and events officer for a government authority. It was my job to promote this particular government product in the marketplace. And there was a really, really big campaign that I worked on. And that's when I kind of realized I got some accolades for the way I handled some of those events from fairly senior people. And it just dawned on me, other people don't know how to do this. Is this a thing? Because I'd never had a career. I'd never chosen a career. I'd been a jack of all trades forever. Always proud of having 27 jobs by the time I was 27. That was my catch cry. So that's really when I kind of went, maybe this is something like a label I can have, and not feel so stupid's not the right word, but I just felt like I was not a professional. I didn't have a career. So that's when I delved into it, and I went back to uni and I found an amazing master's in creative industries at QUT in Brisbane. One of our gorgeous people on here at the moment, Ellie, her father was my very first lecturer in my very first unit.
That just blows my mind. Brisbane is just so small.
I know. And Michael was instrumental in, that was my first. So when I did the business degree, I got 4s, 4.5s, which is just passing. Like that's on the line for anyone who's not in Australia and doesn't know our system. But a 7 is a good mark. A 4 is a pass. So a 4.5 is just scraping through. When Michael gave me my first 6, I got a 6 for his unit. And it was business development. So it was the thing I was doing all the time. And that was so exciting. So then I was addicted. I was totally addicted to good marks. And subsequently got a 6.75 GPA out of that. So I did extremely well, but because I loved it and because I really honed in on events and sponsorship is the other thing, the two things that I really focused on. So in answer to your question, I did not study, but eventually I kind of decided it might be something worth looking into. And not to ramble on, but the other reason I did the study is because I had come out of the music industry. I was trying to keep my hand in it, because anyone who's in music knows it's a drug. You can't let it go. You just want to be around it, working in it all the time. Now, it doesn't matter if it makes you no money. You've got to be in the thick of it. And I was trying to stay in it, but I was trying to make money as well. So I was running workshops for musicians. I was creating project plans, tour plans, record launch plans, recording plans, anything I could do to help independent bands and musicians, live their best life and do what it was that they wanted to do. But my work wasn't landing. So they loved it. And everyone's like, oh, this is amazing. But no one actually did anything with my plans. I'd follow up and go, so how'd you go with that? Did you do the tour? Did you do the launch? Did you do the thing? Oh, no, I didn't get to it. And I realized then that I wasn't using the right language and the right tools to meet the needs of that person's mind, I guess, and thought process. So that's when I kind of went, oh, I probably need to learn how to be an artist, because I'm not an artist. I'm not a performer. It was very corporate speak. It was very project management focused. So that's when I kind of dove into that and went, well, I'm going to go and find something where I can go and study, hang out with artists. And that was the beauty of the Masters in Creative Industries, is everyone was a performer, a musician, a visual artist, a sculptor, like a writer. It was divine. I loved it. And I thought, if I can learn from those lecturers how they teach, I can take that information. And that's where Michael was instrumental. Anyway, enough about Michael.
Oh, look, I just think that's really beautiful. And it's just, Ali's very special. So, of course, she comes from very special parents. And I just love that. It just takes that one person, and I just wonder what would have happened if you'd met a Michael as a teacher when you were young. Do you know what I mean? It always just takes that one person.
I don't think I would have been ready. I don't think I would have been ready.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
My father's a perpetual learner. Everything my father read, everything he admired, I now just consume exponentially.
Yeah.
Then I looked at it and went, what's that? What is that? I didn't mature until I was at least 35. Let me tell you, I was in my mid to late 30s before I went, oh, there's other people in the world. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're, again, kindred spirits, mate. Exactly the same. I just wanted to just tell you who's in the room at the moment. So we've got the amazing Ali, and also so Ali's going to be putting on her one woman show, and she's going to be calling it Blossoming Ella. So she's going to be doing some Blossom Dearie and Ella Fitzgerald, but she's also going to tell her story around that. So that's really exciting. And we've also got the incredible Paula Hackney. So Paula is the front woman of a band called Melody Graves and the Hokum Redemption. She's a fabulous jazz singer. So she does a lot of her own, like sort of jazz standards, but she also fronts, another band sort of based off that band. So, Paula is also in the corporate world as well. So it's interesting. You two are kind of similar vibe. You can speak both languages. So she can do the whole corporate speak, and she's also got a strong project management head as well. But she's always been in the music industry since. As I think in your 20s, Paula, she's been performing and putting on events, that kind of thing. So I just think we've got some kindred spirits in here already listening. Paula, don't worry about the tech. This isn't the Fearless Singers members. I think I call things Fearless Singers something, and it gets a bit confusing as to where the groups are. So I might have to be a little bit more discerning with what I call different groups and things. So this is a private podcast for the Fearless Singers Facebook group, not the membership. Ali said, Sally Porteous, you're gorgeous. My folks send their love, and they're so thrilled to hear that we've made connection through Mel and Fearless. And she said, enough about Michael.
As children do. Stop talking about my parents.
Exactly. That's it. That's it. Oh, this is so fabulous. I'm so happy this is all happening. So look, I think that's amazing. I love the fact that from day dot, Sally, it's always been about, it's been your way. You've created a unique path for yourself, and I feel like you've just really honoured who you are, and I can really sense,
That's
I
a
think
really
even
nice
just,
way of saying it. That's
yeah, no, but honestly, I think, if I'd met you as a young person, as like putting my teacher head on as a classroom teacher, I would have thought, oh, come on, love this challenge. I would have. I was a kind of the saint for the naughty kids. I just, yeah, they loved me and I loved them because I loved them because I saw that they were the rebels. They were the rule breakers. They were going to challenge the status quo, and I really, helped them kind of develop that in a much
I
more
love
sort of
that.
positive way was going to help them as well. I just
We
didn't
need
want
more
them
teachers like
didn't
you.
want to see them burn their bridges. So I really helped them channel that into creative projects. And yeah, that's the part that I miss about education. But
Yeah.
then I wouldn't be able to do this. So anyway, back to you and your incredible skills. I just want to highlight to everybody that you are offering a webinar, a free webinar tomorrow. Is that right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am. Yes.
Talk us
Yes.
through what can we expect in the webinar?
So I've developed, again, out of my own desire to, we all have a million ideas in our head, and I was kind of throwing stuff at the wall and hoping things stick. And eventually that got frustrating and no one could really understand what it was that I was trying to create. So I came up with a little 15-step process for myself to essentially evaluate the feasibility of an event, of an idea. And it's a really very, 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 very distilled down version of a much wider program that I have. But I've since taken that sort of 15-step Word document, questionnaire, and put it into this really cool graphic, which essentially leads you through the idea generation process, helps you I guess, navigate your way through the purpose, the audience, the objectives, the outcome. That's kind of the first step of why am I doing, who am I doing it for, and that kind of process. Then we start to get into a bit of nitty gritty into, well, what does the program look like? Where are we going to do it? What do we need? What does our audience need? So there's another section that's kind of all about the program and the audience. And then how we're going to get it out there, how much it might cost. We brainstorm a few things around risks and issues and any contracts we might need to have. And it sounds really complex, but it's a 2-page document that essentially has 1 to 2 lines in each of the boxes, and there's 15 boxes. And you can take this information, and I promise you, I don't like calling it an elevator pitch because it's corporate speak, but it really is. You will be able to, when someone says to you, so what are you up to, Mel? And you've got this new project going on, and someone says, what are you up to, Mel? And you can go, well, I really wanted to help people do this. So those people, I've created this thing, and this is how it rolls out. The program looks like this. Ticket price is about this much. It's going to be starting in this date. We're going to put it on in this location. I'm a little bit worried about these couple of things, and I need some help here or some support here. But look, I really think it's going to be amazing, and the outcome people are going to get is this.
Oh, I love
Boom.
that.
And it's
love that.
Yes, right.
And you know what? I love the fact that also too, it's a show, it's an event, but you're thinking in terms of audience outcome. So how am I serving? Who is this
100%.
who is this going to benefit? And coming back to, as singers, we are providing a service, and it's more than just us standing on the stage doing this. It's like, what is the value?
It connects the dots, right?
What's the connection? Yeah.
It connects the dots. And I've started kind of relating it. I need to probably start doing it for my social media, because I keep looking at my social media going, it's not like, it's good and I like it, and it gets a bit of engagement and what have you, but it's not connected. I feel like I'm just speaking. So I feel like I need to do it like a campaign. and use it. So you can actually use this process for any idea. It's not just for events, but the workshop tomorrow is very much focused on events. So it runs for an hour and a half, 10 till 11:30. And it's an ask me anything after that. I will be on for as long as you want. You can, if you're on there live, you can come and talk to me about what it is that you want to create. And I will answer any question that you have. I will dig into my resources, which are wide and varied and vast and very deep, and to help people just get their events launched. Because I really think if this, I want to go in this direction, because if I can engender more people to create greater audience experiences, we all benefit from that. And I feel like we're coming through a bit of a phase at the moment where there's some operators out there that are great marketers and they're not delivering great products. You know, we're paying good money for a piece of real estate. I had a bit of a rant on TikTok a while ago about the suburban festival, and the fact that it's not a festival. Like a gin festival is not a festival. So you can't charge me to come into a piece of real estate to sell me something.
Yeah,
that's not a festival.
no.
There's no music happening. There's, you know,
Yeah.
So I did go on a bit of a rant about that kind of thing. So it just fuels me even more to go, no, can we just do greater things together? And I've never focused on any particular kind of event, which everyone will tell you is not the right thing to do. But I've just got so many experiences and tools out there that I know it doesn't matter what you're doing. I've done it, and I can help you do yours, as long as you're prepared to focus on the audience. That is the one thing I will continue to bring you back on track with. Does the audience care about this?
Oh, absolutely. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just getting the link to your webinar to post into the comments.
I was going to do that real quick.
Yeah, I'm doing that now. Just keep talking.
Okay, because I've got it here if you want.
Yeah,
but,
no, I've got it now. It's all good.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
So look, this journey started pre-COVID. Actually, I started creating event planning workshops in about 2018, late 2017, 2018. And it came out of necessity. I was working in a venue. I was selling a big indoor sports venue, and lots of community members would come to hire the venue from us, and really just missing so many critical elements that would make their event a success. And I just spent so much time working with community groups and helping them put their event plans together, because so many of them most people just start in the middle, and that's okay. Like everybody does it. But there's 10 things you need to do before you pick where and when you're going to do it. And then there's another 10 things after that you need to focus on too. So it's kind of come from trying to help people do it just take the chaos out. It's meant to be fun, right? Yeah. You need to have a really good time doing this. And I don't pass anyone these days, particularly with community events or anyone producing their own stuff, or if they're on a committee who doesn't get to the end of it and go, I'm never doing that again. It's like having a baby. They will do it again because they'll forget how painful their experience was. Right? So many people go, I'm never doing that again. And that devastates me, because it's meant to be fun. It is glamorous. It is fun. Yeah. Right?
That's it. I get such a high from putting on shows. Like, I really do. And just seeing the people's faces in the room. And I love the Fearless Singer Showcase that we've been putting on. And last year I ran Femme Jazz, which I'll reignite again this year. But yeah, Harvey and I, so Harvey Blues, who I collaborate with, we put on a show celebrating Amy Winehouse, and it sold out for 2 nights. And again, it was a lot of hard work, and there were times where you're just like, oh, why did I do this? Oh, this is such a lot of money to spend. But the end result was just so worth it to see just the faces of people. They were so happy to be there and
Yeah.
to be supporting local artists. But anyway,
And that's the driver, right? That's the driver.
oh,
I have my
honestly, it
favorite
really comes
photo.
back to, it always comes back to your audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
have
have
to
a
love your
photo.
audience.
Yeah. I have a photo that I always go back to because when I first started touring bands, my first tour was Killing Heidi, and they were amazing. They were just the most gorgeous, gorgeous bunch of people. But that was kind of like my first tour by myself. No, no one else kind of helping me. So as you can imagine, I was shit scared. And don't forget, I'm in my 40s. Like, I'm not a young person who's got no fear. I'm 45 by this stage, so I got plenty of fear bearing down on me. And we're in we're in this pub in Early Beach, and I think it was maybe show number 3 on the tour, and everybody's bumping in, and it's just kind of like the same thing over and over again. And I've kind of just lobbed into the tour at this point, and I say to the band, how can you stand this every night? How can you stand these yobbos, these idiots, like just yelling at you at the front of the stage every night? And you have to sing the same songs over and over and over again. And that's when they said to me, it's a drug. You can't not. You wait and see. And lo and behold, doors open, mics on, mouth sound, and I'm just like, oh, I'm doing this always. And this is what I want people to get, right? This is why I'm so passionate about getting the process sorted, because I see people at events running around like mad idiots when doors open. They've not allowed themselves the moment to just watch the faces as they come in. And so my favorite photo I have is good old Shannon Knoll, because I toured the Idols. Good old Shannon Knoll on stage. I'm actually standing on the drum riser behind everyone. So there's a band and the faces of the audience in front. And the women's faces in the front row are just like that. I just look at that and go, this is why we're doing it. This is why we're doing what we're doing, right? They just love it so much.
Oh, Sally, that's beautiful. Sorry, I just interrupted you. I've done that a couple of times. So I'll stop talking over you. It's just this whole, medium as well. Getting used to it. I love that you're so passionate about it. And it's so funny because this morning I saw this post where, how they talk about if you find a work that you really love, you're not going to ever work a day in your life. This particular woman was saying, well, actually, but also too, you can't fake passion. You can't fake it. know, so if you plan this life out, or even if you plan an event that isn't actually an event that you're not passionate about, it's going to feel a bit sticky and clunky the whole way. But if you plan an event that you're going to feel really aligned with and genuinely passionate about, you don't mind going through those, 15 steps, and being very prescriptive about, what
and that's
you're
why
doing.
purpose is so important, because it does get really hard and it gets expensive. And there are times when you're really scared and you're thinking, am I doing the right thing? Having that purpose front of mind all the time, A, it's a decision maker, and B, it helps you stay on track. You keep looking at it going, yeah, that's right, that's this thing. And it's the same with me, like this online course world. I just want to be a coach, really. Like, I would just love to just talk to people and people come to me, but we're in this environment where we have to have these structured courses, which do my head in because I'm not a scholar, but that's what the world wants right now.
But I think you'll present them in your way.
I know, but it because like this has to happen. I don't know if you've seen my socials lately, but the whole getting on your own stage, that's only just kind of dropped for me. I guess that is why, like, I know people that have paid enormous amounts of money to play on someone else's stage, and I don't want that for people. You can actually play on your own for very little amounts of money. It doesn't have to cost you a lot. But yeah, there's varying degrees for sure.
So, Sally, would you start with identifying your purpose, or your passion, is that where you would normally start?
Yeah, absolutely. Starting with your why. Why do you, and it's not why do you sing? Why am I in this business? Why am I an artist? none of that meta kind of stuff. It's, why do I want to put this show on now, in this time, right now? And you have to keep bringing yourself back to that little specific thing. So in the context of events and, festivals and that kind of thing, I say to people, I'll say to people, why do you want to do this in the form of an event? And they'll say, oh, well, my business this, my business that. And I'll go, yeah, but you could run a Facebook ad campaign. You could run a Google ad campaign to drive business. Why do you want to do it as an event? And eventually they'll dig deeper and deeper and deeper and go, well, because I get better connection when I can talk to person shoulder to shoulder. Bingo. Okay, so that's priority number one, in real life, crowded room, shoulder to shoulder. So starting with the purpose of why you want to get on stage and put your own show on is critical. Everything else will fall out of that, and every decision will come back to that. So every time you need to make a decision, if you're not sure whether to make that decision or not, you can look back at your purpose and go, does it meet our purpose? So there's purpose, objective, outcomes, audience, and values. They're the top five. So they're your 5 things that you've got to come back to all the time. So if you're struggling to make a decision, or you've got partners in this with you, and someone wants to throw in some random idea that is not a great idea, which happens all the time in creative pursuits, doesn't it? Someone brings a blue elephant into the room, and it's not Moulin Rouge. And
not
so they've got to Moulin Rouge, they saw the elephant in the theatre and said, we need one of those too in our show. You can look back at the purpose, values, objectives, outcome, and audience and go, does it match these? And more often than not, it won't. And if they're insistent, you can then go, okay, cool, but we have to change something here. We need to rethink everything that we're doing. I see some comments and questions.
Yeah, so Paula said uniqueness combined with passion and experience is so much more engaging than a cookie cutter approach when it comes to presenting. Absolutely, 100% oats. Yeah, and she said that there's so much value in doing things your own way. It's innovation in action. I love that.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, oh, sorry, no, you go.
No, that's fine. I think being a tour promoter, getting to see the various different ways people do things and how bands and artists and performers can really just kind of zone in on themselves when it comes to the crunch. I think that's what I really love about artists and performers, and that is the innovation / uniqueness zone. Is all of a sudden you can literally see it, like all of a sudden the walls will come down. It's like, nope, nobody else is in here now. This is our space. If it's a band or performance troupe or something, all decision, everything, everybody else out. This is just us. And I think we see it, as people go, as the big bands go on stage and they do the, all the hands together and they have their little mantra that they say and before they go on. I think that's doing things in their own way. That's like, thank you, taken on board, thank you. Now it's us. And I want more people to do that. More people to do that.
Yeah. Just being very, very clear on your values, your unique passion, and your objectives. And I think after a while, you start to also get to know who your audience are, and you have this beautiful relationship with them. Your audience then also becomes your community, around what you do. And
building the audience you want, right? Building the audience that you want to serve. So being true to yourself, knowing what your purpose is. Why do I want to perform? Why do I want to get on stage and perform this show? If somebody wants to share any of their passions or any of the reasons that they think that they want to get their own show on the road, I'd love to hear them, because I'm way better bouncing back and forth from other people's questions. But I think if you've had an experience where, maybe you've been a support act on somebody else's tour and you find yourself performing to an audience that's not yours, or in an environment that doesn't really fit with how you wanted to play. Actually, this reminds me of a funny story of a very high profile solo performer who was a lead singer of a very, very, very big band back in the 80s. We were doing this run of shows, and back in the day, Gilhooly's Irish bars was a big thing in Brisbane, and they were great. They were an awesome supporter of live music. So we used to do runs. We'd do full runs in Gilhooly's pubs, and there was like 5 of them. And this particular performer just stopped playing one night. Absolutely just stopped playing because we were in there used to be a jazz bar in the city, and like an underground jazz bar in the city that was amazing, and it turned into a Gilhooly's pub, but it was still a beautiful venue. And I remember being in there, and someone on this table over here was chatting away, and so he just put his guitar down and just like ranted at this table like crazy that they were talking. They, didn't respect what he was doing, etc., etc. The following night, we were going to the Brackenridge Tavern, the back room of the Brackenridge Tavern, which is like workers' pub extraordinaire, and I was petrified. I was thinking, like, this is beautiful. This is people were sitting on the floor at his feet on the carpet listening to him play, and I'm thinking, oh my God, he's going to kill us when we go to the Brackenridge Tavern. And he finds out that it's, this back room of a workers' pub in middle class Brisbane. So that person was very upset because they were playing for money, right? They weren't playing in environments they wanted to play in. They were playing for money because they needed money, and they accepted anything. And they, I guess, abdicated those responsibilities to other people. It happened one other time, and I actually fronted the artist and said, but you knew, right? You knew where you were playing. You get the run. You see it before you accept it, right? Yeah. Well, there's 300 people out there who've just paid good money to come and see you play. So, you need to go play.
Yeah, good on you.
I didn't say it as nice as that, but I think that's a great example of when artists are, it's not new material that they're trying to get out there. They're obviously working, but I think at some point you have to reconcile yourself with, they would have done better to go, or I'm going to serve my audience with this right now. And hopefully if I keep doing that, when my new material comes, they'll still be there and they'll keep listening to me,
No, that's wonderful. Yeah, just, getting clear on why you're doing something. And then if it is like, okay, actually I just really need money right now, then cool. Thinking, okay, well, yeah, just honor that and go with it, and don't be annoyed by what's happening in front of you. Exactly. Or go, actually, no, I'm not going to accept that. This is what I want, and then go for that.
Yeah.
And then you're not messing anyone around, or, you're just being true to whatever you need at that point. Can we just go through? So I'm really excited about your webinar tomorrow. So I've definitely signed up. I'm coming. I just want to also put out there that you've also got these 2 amazing resources that you're happy to email. So you want to just type in your email in the chat. So if you want to just email Sally, or you can also find her on Facebook. Facebook at Sally Porteous. Actually, are you typing it in, Sal?
Everything's my name. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you can also find Sally on Instagram at Sally Porteous as well. So
at Sally Porteous Events on Instagram.
Yeah, but if you type in Sally Porteous, I've tried it before. I've just gone Sally Porteous and you've just come up straight away. Yeah, so if you just DM...
I'm not a Jamaican politician. That's the only other Sally Porteous out there. So
I know, I saw that. I was like, ooh, Sally Porteous OBM.
Yeah, that's not
there
me.
There we go. Sally's got everything in there. So in the chat, email sally@redlanyard.com.au. So yeah, Sally sent through these 2 flow charts to me to have a look at. And I was like, and she said, Mind maps. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah. And she said, will this be of benefit? And I was like, oh my God, this is hugely invaluable. So which just shows you. So there was two. There's the, like, if you ever want to go on a tour, and so all the things that you need to consider when you're putting on your tour, and also one just for a live event or show.
Yeah, just a single show.
Single show. So if you get in contact with Sally direct, she'll just flick that to you in an email. But please sign up for her webinar, which is tomorrow. What were the times again?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. to 11:30
Australian time till 11:30. It will be recorded, so if you can't make it, feel free to sign up, and the recording will be sent out as well.
Yeah.
I really want to talk about objectives and outcomes real quick.
Yeah. We've got plenty of time. I just wanted to, cool. Just insert that in there. Because we started off with purpose, and so the next one is objectives and.
No, so audience would be next.
Okay, so purpose,
audience is the second one. So really being clear about the audience that you want to serve. Mm-hmm. And so that in this context will come down to the venues that you choose to do your shows in, right? So making sure that, if the working class over 50 kind of audience is not yours, then don't book the RSL. But if it is like your show at the Jazz Club, which was amazing, like you've only got to look out into that audience and go, I want to serve people who are open to new music, who like an intimate environment, who will sit and listen to me play, or if you're a big heavy rock band and you don't care if people listen to you play, you just want people to dance and go crazy and have a good time, then pick, when you start working through it, so when you're trying to choose your audience and objectives and outcomes all along the way, knowing who you're serving at the same time makes it really easy to make those decisions, right? So your audience, the outcome is like outcome and objective are kind of interchangeable, but in my context, outcome is what are we hoping to achieve overall here, right? So if you're putting on a show, it's sort of purpose, but it's not that internal purpose. You may want to let people know that you've got a record coming out. That would be an outcome, right? That's the outcome. But the objective might be to get 50 people to sign up to your newsletter list, to be advised, like get on a wait list, to be sent the link to purchase your new album when it comes out. So whilst, yes, you're there and you're performing, you need to also understand, hang on, I'm supposed to be getting 50 new signups to a waiting list here as well. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to get someone to come along and support me. They're going to run a merch desk for me. They're going to actually go around and ask people, are you interested? Do you want to sign up for the wait list for Mel's next album? It's coming out on such and such a date. So having those specific objectives there that you want to achieve that meet the outcome, which meet the purpose, and the purpose is that you want to keep performing live and serving your audience. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. That's awesome. I'm just sitting here going, I'm going to be rewatching this.
Well, the thing is, I remember an occasion where I was on tour with a female performer and she wasn't selling any merch, right? And it was back in the day when, a roadie or someone would run the merch desk for someone. And she wasn't selling any merch. We were like 3 shows in and I was like, how'd you go tonight? Because I'm a salesperson at heart, that's what I do. And we were like 3 shows in and I'm like, how are you going? She's like, I sold 5 CDs last night and I sold 5 CDs the night before. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to challenge you. When we hit town tomorrow night, I want you to sell 30 CDs before you go on stage. Oh, I can never do that. Well, just have a go. How can we do that, do you think? And we just sat down and we brainstormed a bunch of ways that she could actually sell her merch before the show. She didn't sell 30, obviously. She did about 5, but it just kind of got her in the mindset. So then she was talking about it on stage, every break. Don't forget, I got T-shirts over there. I got CDs over there. When she was at the desk selling stuff to people. We were even walking around the audience selling it, like just making people, because that's how you're making money, right?
Yeah.
you're selling, that's you're making most of your money out of your merch. So having that objective. So for her, so then it was let's sell 30 CDs every night. We're on this tour for 2 weeks. We're going to sell 30 CDs every night. And so that becomes the goal every night.
Did she ever get 30?
Pardon?
Did she ever get hit her 30?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's
but
all
she
right.
got to 25, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Set up.
You've got to aim for the stars so you can fall at the trees.
Yeah. We're only talking rooms of 100 people, so
Yeah,
getting
no, that's
30
great.
sales is pretty good.
Yeah.
But it just, and I guess the thing with performers is the stage performance is already set, right? It's not to downplay anything, but it's almost rote. Like you've practiced, you've rehearsed so well. It's a show for you. You get up and you perform. It's all the other stuff around it that you have to put the effort into making yourself do. The getting on stage bit for most of you, I'm guessing, is, I'm going to say, the easy part. I know it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. It's certainly not easy to get on stage, but it's kind of the that's the job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
My job is to come here and perform. The hard part is to remember, I've got to sell merch as well, and I have to build my newsletter database, and I have to make sure I get 100 signups for the waitlist for my album that's dropping in whenever it's going to drop. So that's probably the top four. And values is really what's not negotiable, right? Where are you never going to play? What are you never going to do? What are you always going to do? What are you going to make sure is always in place? And that can be, I can talk about this tomorrow, but there's a wide variety of different things that you can put in there, both personal values, your company values, your performing values, all of that kind of thing, down to, how much you pay players in your band, minimum, everybody must get paid minimum wage, for example, or everyone must get paid minimum wage plus 20%. All of these things are decision makers.
Yeah. I love that. No, that's fantastic. It's just so great to have a framework, I think. And then I love the fact that you can take this same matrix or structure, and then you can use this not just for a show, but you can use it for your music business as well, and just being really clear as to, who am I? What do I believe? Who am I serving? What are some of those little structures that I need to have in place? Like, how do I have that conversation with the audience around merchandise? When do I have those conversations? And start to get that into your muscle memory. It does become practice, Sally. I've been there, where it's been a real struggle to say, what it is that you want, people to do, whether it's to follow you on social media. That used to sound really clumsy when I'd say it, but now it just goes, and if I had merch to sell, that's what, that would be my next thing. Well, actually, that will be my next thing is merchandise.
Yeah.
Mate, you're just...
the second part to it is, so there's, page one is all the fun design stuff, all the everybody loves doing kind of part one, but part two is equally as important, and probably more important from a performer's point of view. So that's about the costs, the ticket prices, the numbers that you need, the break-evens, the risks, the contracts, the insurances, all of the stuff that I feel like we'll get to that. Yeah, it's fine. Just sign it. Like, no, don't just sign it. So again, it's just a little brainstorm and reminder for those kind of things. Particularly contracts, venue contracts, making sure you get paid. How are you going to get paid? Who's looking after tickets? It's a lot easier today to get paid directly. Just hire the room, and you handle everything. Like, it's so much easier today than it was back then, and even way back then. And I don't think it's the case now. I can't find it legally anywhere, and someone online may be able to share with me, but I'm pretty sure you don't need a ticketing agent anymore, but you used to. You used to have to use someone who was in the ticketing association, was a member of the ticketing association.
Oh, right. Well, we use third party. So you told me, you sent me an email. Sorry, I didn't respond back to you
It's okay.
about the that I can sell tickets through my website platform.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can do that. However, we use things like human ticks now. And the only
Humanity,
reason
yep.
why, I never say anything properly. It's human
Sorry.
ticks.
Sorry, bad
That's
habit
okay.
of mine.
No, but I should learn how to say things properly. But we use those because they're also act as a bit of a sort of a catalog of sorts, for people to find your events. But yeah,
Yes.
no, we can use that or Q-Tix. The other one is Eventbrite, but Eventbrite charge through the nose, so I don't use them. I love the Humanitix because of the fact that you can have an option for people to donate to a cause that you advocate
Yeah.
for.
It's also a social enterprise, and 100% of their profits go to children's charities, actually, not just any charity, children's charities.
Yeah, I love that social aspect.
And they're an Australian-New Zealand company, which is bonus number 2.
Yeah.
If you're going to use a ticketing agent, absolutely use Humanitix. Don't use anything else.
No, I 100% agree with you, and it's so easy. It's so easy to navigate. Their interface is just really, really clear, and
and you can make really complex ticketing options as well. So, like I've used it for conferencing, for example, and made it super complex, and it handles all of that, handles everything. It's really good. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So, but that stuff is really important, and definitely insurance is really important. So a lot of performers just go through Duck for Cover.
Yeah.
So that can that gig that I just had at the Brisbane Jazz Club, that venue requires you to have, to present your certificate of currency, and most venues as well. If you're just booking the venue to hire it for a show, they require your certificate as well. And it's pretty affordable for artists through Duck for Cover. I know there's more comprehensive ones through different places, but most of us just tend to use that.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a low risk activity, unless you've got pyrotechnics and speaker stacks and a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's pretty low risk.
Yeah. And the only thing I would say is to have all of those things saved in a folder, so you can easily just go boop if you have to email it to.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look,
it's not the most riveting advice, but there you go.
Yeah. No, you can have a nice little procedure. I have various checklists for events. I don't have one for putting on a show though, but you could turn those mind maps, the tour and the single show mind maps, you could turn those into a checklist quite easily. Yeah.
Awesome. Sally, before you go, so we've been talking for nearly an hour.
I know, it's amazing.
We could just keep talking. What would be one massive piece of advice you would give to a singer that's looking to put on their own show, or even just maybe just start identifying more as a singer entrepreneur? This is my music business. What advice would you give us?
Yeah, exactly that. Treat it like a business. Even if it's a side hustle, that's okay. Make sure that you have. I'm sure you go through all of this sort of stuff, making sure that all the domains and socials and all of those names, that you've got those. But just get out there and start playing. There's lots and lots of different opportunities, both directly and through agencies. So one of my clients, Lisa, runs Brisbane's music agency. She's amazing. She's the most gorgeous soul. You'll never meet an agent as kind and nice as she is. And she's doing things like there's so many random places that people are putting on performers now, because everyone wants that interaction again. So decide on your kind of I guess where you're comfortable performing, like what experience level you're at. And if you just want to get used to getting in front of people, there's really great opportunities to do that. For example, there's an alien night market at Underwood that has an amazing stage and an incredible giant screen behind it that Lisa is booking, and they do soloists on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. And again, it's just an environment to keep practicing and getting in front of people and booking and getting your procedures right. So if you're kind of at that level, there's even one at a steak burger joint at Sherwood that she books, which is so interesting. But there's Sunday morning cafes and things like that. There's busking opportunities in the Queen Street Mall that you can book through. Brisbane City Council has a busking program. So depending on your level of experience, pick the environment that you want to work in, and then just get used to doing it. Like don't wait for other people to ask you to perform at such and such a place. You really do have to be proactive and go out there and grab the opportunities that you want. And so a piece of advice someone gave me, which I really loved, was I wanted to do festivals at the time. And so she made me basically go through and write out a list of 10 festivals that I wanted to produce, and then go to the festival so I could see what it was about, B, get a volunteering gig on the festival so I could see what it was like to work behind the scenes, and then C, pitch my services to produce the festival. So just kind of going a little bit deeper into going, that's what I want. I want to do that. And I actually did that before I decided to go 100% into business. Like I said, I was working for the government authority, and I was kind of like, oh, maybe this is a thing. I volunteered on Brisbane Festival. I volunteered on about 5 different major Brisbane events because I thought if I can do this for free and still love it, I can go hard in business with it. So just get out there and do it. Get out there and do it.
I love it. Thank you so
much.
And
ask me anything. Like follow me. Feel free to follow me on all the socials. I'm always answering people's questions, etc. So, and come tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, Ali just said, this is brilliant. Thank you, Sally. My new business is blossoming Ella. Oh,
love it.
Yes.
Nice work.
Love it. Yeah, I was just going to reiterate that. Please make this a continual conversation with Sally on the socials. Make sure you email her to get those 2 mind maps. So one for the tour, one for the single show. Also, please sign up to her webinars. Do you want to just post that link again, Sally?
Yeah,
so that's tomorrow. I'm going to be there with my bells on. Actually, I'm going to be there, Sally. I'll be driving to Bundaberg, but I'll have you on in my car, just so you know.
Look forward to being on in your car.
So yes,
StreamYard. How cool is this?
StreamYard is amazing. It really is. It's so clear. Listen, there was so much in that. There was honestly, you've really gone the extra mile delivering valuable content to us. Thank you.
As well. There's a bunch of YouTubes up there as well. So if you look for Red Lanyard on YouTube, Red and Lanyard, like you hang around your neck, on YouTube, I've got a bunch of videos on there talking about a heap of stuff as well. Probably not specific performance music related, but
it's all you can always relate it back to. It's the same thing.
Thank you so much.
Oh mate, you're just excellent. So tomorrow you're just going to go a little bit more nitty gritty into all of those things. More structured. And then we'll as part of that, will we get that document that you're talking about?
Yes, you do.
I'm so excited about that.
Yes.
Can I just tease a little bit and just tell you what show I'm dreaming up for the end of the year? I've been dreaming up about this for years, and it's fine. I'm just going, okay, just do it. I want to put on a Dolly Parton tribute.
Oh my God.
So it's going to be a celebration of Dolly Parton, and it's going to be towards the end of the year, and most likely going to be here in West End. I've just got to find the appropriate venue, but yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yes. So I'm just like, okay, just you can't. I definitely can't fake passion. I'm super. You know that I'm passionate about old mate Dolly.
Gorgeous. I look forward to it.
Ellie just said, I'll be emailing you soon, Sally, and touching base with you first that way. Thank you tremendously
Yeah,
for
thank
today.
you.
Oh, it's
Thanks,
beautiful.
Ellie.
Yay.
It's awesome to have you along.
And I feel like you and Paula probably know each other because Paula is in events.
Well, we
and
don't know each other, but
well, you know each other now, but
yeah.
I'm pretty sure Paula worked on the Brisbane Festival. Or she
nice.
did the comms events for that at some stage. Look at this cat. He knows that something exciting's happening here, and he wants in.
And so, shall we also talk about that you're going to join me next week?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to have a podcast. I'm going to have a podcast next week, and Mel is going to join me, and we're going to be talking about helping people actually get on the stage in the first place. So I know lots and lots of people who spend a lot of time doing things for others, getting on other people's stages, setting things up for lots of other people, and they have lots of aspirations to do it themselves, but they're scared to do so, etc. So Mel's going to come on and we're going to talk to those people and help them take that first step in owning their own voice, owning their own presentation and singing style, and take them back a couple of steps probably from where these viewers are.
Yeah.
So if you want to join us, follow us on socials for that one too.
That'd be great. I'm really looking forward to that. All right. Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
we just love you. Paula said, look forward to connecting more with you, Sally Porteous.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah. All right. Well, lots of love, Sally. Lots of love to
you.
everybody who joined us today. And if you are rewatching this, please just hashtag replay. So, and again, if you have any questions, Sally is now in this Fearless Singers group. So if you tag her, she can respond on the comments. You didn't. I forced you.
I promise I won't sing. I'm just
gonna, Sally. I'm just gonna end the broadcast, but we'll still be here.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Lots of love,
Bye, everyone.
everybody. Thanks for joining us.